Hey guys, yesterday was Diablo 4 Campfire Chat and we have finally received all the information that we need for Season 4. So we also have the new patch notes out. And today I wanted to cover a rogue build, which I believe will be the #1 rogue build in the next season, or at least a very strong S tier build, which is this new rapid fire rogue. So in this build we are playing with the new unique ring, which is also coming out in Season 4, which is called Scoundrel's Kiss. So this unique ring allows our rapid fire arrows to deal massive AoE damage, as you can see here. So they explode in this red fire explosions. And yeah, it's a very cool unique ring, very powerful, since rapid fire usually is a single target damage only skill, which is very good for killing bosses or single target elites. But with this ring we can transform this build into a AoE damage build as well, and it's very effective and very strong. And here in the gameplay you can see me clearing a tier 200 pit, which I was able to finish in the last 1 or 2 days of the PTR, which was released in early April. So yeah, this should prove that this build is capable of clearing tier 200 pit, and this is not even with the best gear. I still have a lot of room for improvement here at this point. But yeah, let's go back to the ring. So the ring is very powerful. It turns our single target damage rapid fire arrows into AoE damage. But the problem of this ring was that it's very hard to hit the enemy sometimes. So maybe you saw it already here in this gameplay. I will also show you later in the training room with the dummies. So the big disadvantage was that it's you need to go into very heavily melee range with this build. So you basically play rapid fire as a shotgun. So you need to be in the face of the enemies in order to hit them, because if you don't do that, then your arrows will just miss. So this was the biggest problem, and they have shown us a video yesterday in the live stream. So the Blizzard developers confirmed that this new unique ring will work much better now, and the arrows will hit in the same, like if you target one location, all of the arrows will hit around this location. And so this will get much easier to hit the enemies, also if you're not in their face but at some in some more rangy playstyle. So in my eyes, this is a huge buff to this item, which is already pretty powerful. And for that reason, I believe rapid fire will be the #1 rogue build, or at least very strong competitor for this space, or for this for the place of the best rogue build. So yeah, this is what we are gonna cover today. I will show you the gear and skills and Paragon in a bit. I also have to say, I see a lot of potential in penetrating shot with Victimize. So if they have managed to kind of repair the Victimize passive, which was not working at all in the last 3 seasons basically, then I see a lot of potential in penetrating shot with Victimize, because Victimize can be very broken if it works. So I have already theory crafted a lot of builds, and according to my calculations, the Victimize passive will be very powerful this season, next season. And together with penetrating shot, it can deal huge amounts of damage. So we will see. We need to test this, of course, if it will work properly or not. Because, well, we never had a season without any bugs, I believe. And yeah, but this is for another video, for another day. Today I want to cover this rapid fire build only. And here you can see the boss is also melting quite fast. You need to dodge some of these attacks here in order to survive. So with Loot 2.0 we will have a lot of changes to basically all builds we used to play in the previous seasons. So tempering is very powerful, and basically I believe each class has this very powerful weapon tempering recipes where your skills deal or have a chance of casting twice of the projectiles. So also you can see here I have 52% chance for casting my rapid fire projectiles twice, and this is very huge, and especially on a rogue class you can achieve 100%, so you guarantee to double cast your skills basically. This is very, very powerful. So this is something you should have on each weapon. Then you can see here I have dexterity, attack speed, critical strike damage, and marksman critical strike damage. So next seasons we will also have a lot of big amounts of additive damage numbers. So all of this critical strike damage goes into the additive damage bucket, and they will be very huge in the next season as well. So here we are playing with the Edge Masters on the two-hander weapon. So this is the best aspect for your crossbow, because it's very safe to use and good damage multiplier. So I recommend you put Edge Masters here. Then here I'm playing with Condemnation, but I think this is a mistake. So this was BTR and I was just trying out different stuff. But the unique weapons in Season 4 will be pretty much useless because you cannot temper them. So I think it's not worth it to use something like Condemnation. We will lose this 40% damage multiplier aspect on it, but we have some other good aspects which can replace this. So for example, instead of Condemnation, I would just use Retribution, which got buffed. So Retribution deals 30% increased damage to stunned and knockdown enemies, and we have some ways to knock back enemies with the rogue class. So I think this is a good replacement for Condemnation. So I'm not recommending playing with uniques. Then here we have this aspect of repeating. So rapid fire has a chance to ricochet to another target. This was bugged in the PTR, but the devs also have confirmed that this will work in Season 4 when it's live. So this is also a very powerful aspect if it will work with the new unique ring. But again, we need to test if it really works or not, as always. But if it works, then it's very good. So the rings, here you want maximum life, critical strike damage, and probably you don't want attack speed, so you need to be very careful. Your attack speed is capped at 100% from gear, so if you have a lot of attack speed on your weapons, and if you also masterwork them or have a greater FX, then it's pretty easy to cap out at 100%. Then you should not overkill it and don't put attack speed on the rings. Then, so on your rings you can, for example, replace attack speed with dexterity, which is always a good idea. And yeah, as always, you want some additive damage. And here, very good, also new addition in Season 4, which will be very helpful for rogues. You can roll imbuement, let's say, how to call it, imbuement counters, or let's say imbuement counters for all different imbuement skills. So in my case, I'm playing with cold imbuements, so I can roll +3 casts or counters of cold imbuement. So this is very helpful, just to have more imbuements ready until the cooldown is refreshed. And here we're playing with Expectant, so we gain another 30% damage multiplier after casting our basic skills, which we need because we are playing with combo points in this build. So combo points are still very OP in Season 4. So here's the new Scoundrel Skills ring. You can see rapid fire now lobs exploding arrows, and you also deal more damage. So this ring is just busted. It has everything you want for this rapid fire build. Just try to get one with a good amount of damage bonus here. So as near as possible to 25%, and also rapid +4 skill ranks to rapid fire is very huge as well. So yeah, and this ring got also even buffed, as I mentioned before. On your amulet, you want usually to play with rapid fire, rapid aspect in order to increase your basic skills attack speed, which is very important because we are playing with combo points and puncture and casting puncture a lot. And then here again, you want cold imbuement. This cold imbuement counts for on your amulet, so this is very helpful. Then you could go for something like Chance to Daze if you have already all resistances. And very important here on the amulet, so the amulet is the most competing spot for the stats because amulets have very good affixes. So you have the opportunity costs are very high on this one. So usually the best option for amulets is finding one with +3 ranks to Frigid Finesse, +3 ranks to Exploit, and then +3 ranks to Malice or something like cooldown reduction. So you don't really need critical strike chance because we are playing with a precision build, as I will also show you in a bit. So I would go with either completely full on skill ranks on your amulet or cooldown reduction and 2 skill ranks on the amulet. Then we have this helmet. I would replace this helmet with Godslayer Crown, so you need to farm it from Duriel. Before that, you can obviously just wear a legendary helmet with some cooldown reduction and stuff like that. Then very important, you want to play with the Ambrose aspect in the next season. So I will make a separate video for that because it's a very important topic. So basically this aspect here, the Ambrose aspect, is carrying the whole rogue defenses in season 4. So we will gain this we will generate dark shrouds from puncture. So puncture is a marksman skill, and since we are spamming puncture anyways, we will generate dark shrouds with this aspect here, and the dark shrouds are our biggest, by far biggest amount of damage reduction next season, because all of these flat damage reduction affixes and so on got removed from all sort of gear. So yeah, very important, and I will make a separate video about that. But yeah, you want to play with Godslayer Crown, as I mentioned, ideally. Then here on my armor I was playing with Juggernaut, but in fact you don't need Juggernaut anymore from at least if you reach level 100, because by that time you will reach about 9k armor anyways, and 9200 armor is the new armor cap for all kind of content. So even level 200 monsters will always deal 85% of their physical damage, 85% less physical damage to you if you are capped, if you reached 9200 armor. So yeah, you don't need Juggernaut anymore, and also I think you don't even need one additional armor roll on your gear, or maybe one, and then you just have enough for the rest of the game. So armor is not a thing anymore. So instead I would put the Ambrose aspect on the chest plate and replace my helmet with Godslayer Crown. And yeah, then very important on your chest, this will also go into my separate video, you want as many Dark Shroud skill ranks as possible on your chest plate. So this is the by far most important thing to keep in mind. And yeah, the rest is kind of basic. You want maximum life and you want resistances on your defensive gear pieces just to cap out your resistances and increase your survivability. Here I was experimenting with this Crafts of Shadow because I have found one with greater affix to core skills. So here you can see after masterworking I'm reaching even +8 to core skills. So this is very good. This increases your damage by I think around 40%. So yeah, very good, but I think it's still not worth it even if you find one with greater affix like I did here in the PTR. So I was just trying out some stuff, but I think it's still not worth it. And you should just play with legendary gloves and put the frostbitten aspect on it. because this will also increase your damage, and you will freeze more enemies, which will further increase your damage. Then here we have a defensive pants. You can put a Might's aspect on it, or you can also play with Undying if you want some healing instead of damage reduction. I think this depends on your playstyle. And here dodge chance is unique to pants, so you can go for some dodge chance here. And as I mentioned, you want resistances and maximum life. And on all of your defensive gear, you can also always roll this lucky hit chance to daze or freeze or stun enemies, which can be also very important. And especially here in this build, if we are playing with the retribution aspect, you also want to temper 2 skills to trick, how it's called, trick attacks. So trick attacks is the skill in the rogue class that can knock down enemies after you critical strike them. And this is the synergy that you can use for retribution in order to deal 30% more damage if we are not playing with condemnation instead. And then on the boots we have, here I was playing with Hectic, but Hectic got nerfed by a huge amount, by 100% actually, so it now it's only 2 seconds instead of 4. So instead of Hectic, we can also switch this for concussive strikes. So this is also a new aspect which allows us to deal 20% more damage to dazed enemies. Yeah, by the way, I will make a planner in the future. So here I'm just talking a little bit in freestyle, but I will provide you with a planner as soon as I can. But yeah, I would replace Hectic with with the concussive aspect here. And on boots, you always want to go for movement speed and even temper some additional movement speed. Okay, and now quickly go over the skill tree. It's not too complicated here. We have puncture, of course. We have rapid fire, as many points as we can. You want dash for mobility, shadow step for mobility. Then here, as many points as you can in Dark Shroud. Also here, Smoke Grenade, very important. I think Smoke Grenade will be also by far one of the most used skills in Season 4, because it just has so many synergies with your rogue builds. You can freeze with your grenades, you can daze enemies with Smoke Grenade, you deal 25% more damage with Smoke Grenade, so very important. And then here, only 1 point is enough in Cold Imbuement. We just want this mixed Cold Imbuement for this additional 40% doubled damage bonus versus frozen enemies, as well as Frigid Finesse for more damage versus frozen enemies. And yeah, here you can see I have my precision with 185% damage bonus, but this is not optimal. So in the best case, you reach about 260 or 270%. So here we have some room for improvement as well. And now let's go over to Paragon quickly. So here we want to play with Exploit Glyph in the starting board. Then we have this Ranger Glyph in this Tricks of the Trade board. We are playing with Exploit Weakness, which got buffed in Season 4. Combat Glyph, very important. Taking all the notes here because they're very good for our defenses. Taking critical strike damage notes. Here we have Efficacy for this huge damage bonus life. Here Cheap Shot with Turf for damage reduction. And Eldritch Bounty with Control Glyph for more damage. So again, very quickly, I will provide you also a planner soon. And here I can show you some of the damage numbers. So if we daze the enemies and then freeze them, for example, you can see. So we are dealing about, like if they're frozen, we're dealing about 3 to 5 million damage here. And this is not optimal gear and Paragon, not optimal gear, mostly like I mentioned. So here you already saw my damage numbers went even up to 6 million, I believe. So I can show you again. So yeah, it's pretty huge. Should be enough to clear most of the content in the game. So yeah, this is it for this video. Just a quick guide for rapid fire. Conclusion, I believe this is a very powerful S tier build and probably the number 1 build in Season 4. And they also mentioned that they have nerfed Elemental Surge, and I think the nerf was very huge. So Woody just said something like it's only 1/5 of its power level compared to the BTR in Season 4. So yeah, if they nerfed the Elemental Surge temperings by a big amount, then I think the Elemental Surge rogue will fall off quite heavily. So then all of these ranged builds like Rapid Fire and Penetrating Shot will be the best builds for the rogue class. So yeah, that's it for this video. I will make more guides when the season starts. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then keep following this channel here. And yeah, have a nice day, guys, and bye bye.